All right, everyone, get ready because today we are going deep into the world of generative AI.
Yeah, and forget all that sci-fi fantasy stuff.
Right.
This is real deal tech
Real deal.
happening right now and making huge changes.
I mean, imagine like creating anything.
Anything.
Anything you can think of, just like
Photos,
music
music,
code, just by like using your words.
Using your word?
Sounds kind of crazy.
Like magic.
But it's not magic. It's the power of
Generative AI.
And it's ready to change, I think, everything.
Yeah, and I think the really interesting thing here is it's not just about the cool gadgets or the flashy apps.
Right.
This is like a fundamental shift in how we
Interact with technology.
how businesses operate,
Yeah.
how we think about problems.
And who better to take us on this journey than
Omega Venture Partners.
They've been on the forefront of AI for like, what, 2 decades?
Yeah, over 20 years.
Investing in and nurturing AI companies way before.
It was cool.
It was cool, way before it was
The buzzword.
the buzzword, yeah.
That is today.
And their new report on generative AI is going to be our roadmap for this whole deep dive.
And it's great because it cuts through, all the noise
Yeah.
and breaks down these complex concepts into
Bite-sized pieces.
bite-sized pieces that anyone can understand.
Exactly.
This is a glimpse into the future.
It really is, yeah.
And we'll uncover how this technology is being used.
Right now.
Right now.
To solve those problems.
Solve problems, drive innovation.
And create those new possibilities.
Yeah, and so I think right off the bat, the report does a good job of kind of, describing what sets generative AI apart from other AI.
Okay.
Because traditional AI, that focuses on
Classifying data. Or like predicting stuff. Generative AI is all about
creating new stuff.
Yes.
Whether it's text, images, music, or even code, right?
Right.
This tech learns from existing data.
Okay.
And then uses that knowledge to generate something entirely new.
Okay, that makes sense. But before we go too far, I have to admit I get a little lost with like all the AI jargon. Like, generative AI model, foundation model, and then large language model.
Yeah, there's a lot of jargon out there, but it's easy to untangle once you kind of get the basics down.
Okay.
So think of a general AI model as like any AI system that can create new content.
Okay.
Like that's it.
Okay.
Then you have foundation models, and these are kind of like the heavy hitters.
Okay.
These are trained on massive data sets.
Okay.
Like mountains of text and code.
Right.
Giving them this broad understanding of a lot of different things.
So they're like the super brains.
They're the super brains.
And super brains of AI.
Of AI.
So then how does like ChatGPT fit into all this? Because, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is a great example of all 3 of those things.
Okay.
So it's a generative AI model because
it creates new text.
It's a foundation model because
it's trained on tons of data.
Tons of data.
Right.
And it's a large language model.
It's specifically designed to understand and generate human language.
Human language, exactly.
Okay, now it's clicking for me.
Good.
But why are these foundation models so expensive to build? What makes them so special?
So building a foundation model, it's like,
building a digital brain?
Yeah, it's like constructing a digital brain, but on a massive scale.
Wow.
It requires enormous computing power.
Right.
And time.
Right.
To process and learn from all that data.
So it's a huge undertaking.
Huge, which means...
Big price tag.
Big price tag.
Exactly.
So it's not just the algorithms,
right.
It's also the scale of the data.
It's the scale of the data, it's the computing power needed to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
And these models, they're constantly evolving.
Right.
Getting smarter, more capable all the time. That's exciting and also a little scary.
Scary, yeah.
Well, you mentioned in the report that these models are not perfect.
Not perfect, no.
And you mentioned hallucinations.
Yeah.
The AI is seeing things that aren't really there.
Well, not
spooky.
Not spooky, but it's a good reminder that these are still very complex systems that are being developed.
Right.
So what happens with these hallucinations is there are limitations in the data or the context.
Right.
And it's almost like the AI is trying to fill in the gaps with its best guess.
Okay.
And sometimes that leads to nonsensical outputs.
So it's important to remember that even with all the hype, AI is still...
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
But that's so exciting, though.
That's what makes it so exciting.
We are, at the very beginning...
We're witnessing the birth of, a new technological era.
Exactly. There's so much room for growth and...
innovations.
So I think, if we want to avoid those hallucinations and get the most out of these tools, the secret really is about...
Communication.
How we communicate with AI.
And you call it prompt design.
Yeah, prompt design.
Which is basically about,
crafting these instructions to guide the AI to the results we want.
It's like having a conversation with a brilliant but like
literal mind
the
net.
system, yeah.
Where you have to be
very clear.
and specific. So it's not just asking any old question.
Right.
You really have to think about what you want.
What you want.
And how to phrase it.
How to ask.
Yeah, it's like learning a new language.
It is.
The language of AI.
The language of AI, and just like any new language.
It takes practice.
It takes practice, it takes experimentation, but it's not all text-based, right?
No, not at all.
The report mentioned, like text to image.
Text to image.
Text to 3D.
Text to 3D, that's just the beginning. I mean, this stuff can be applied to a crazy amount of tasks.
Yeah.
Think about, like, creating, those photorealistic images.
Yeah.
From just, like, a simple text.
Simple description.
Description, yeah.
Or, like, generating music in different styles.
Absolutely.
And, we could even design, like...
3D models.
3D models just by, like...
Using your words.
Using your words.
Yeah.
That is incredible. The possibilities are practically...
Limitless.
Limitless. But... generative AI is about more than just generating, like, cool content.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a powerful tool for, like...
Businesses, individuals.
Yeah.
It can streamline processes, automate tasks, and really drive innovation across all sorts of industries.
I love how the report emphasizes that, like, it's not about replacing human creativity.
Right.
But augmenting it.
Augmenting it, yeah.
Opening up new possibilities.
New possibilities.
And that's where I think Omega Venture Partners' expertise really comes in.
Absolutely.
They've been investing and nurturing these AI companies.
For years.
For years and years.
Decades.
They really have an eye for, like,
the winners.
The winners.
Identifying the real winners.
Yeah, it sounds like they're not just chasing trends.
No, they're shaping the future.
Yeah, they are, by supporting the companies that are really pushing those boundaries.
Pushing the boundaries.
Okay, so we covered kind of, like... the basics of generative AI.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think a lot of our listeners are like, okay, so...
how do I use it?
How do I use it?
Yeah.
What are those opportunities?
What are the opportunities?
For me
yeah.
and for my business.
And the report really outlines 3 key opportunities that I think are,
really
interesting for everyone.
So what's the first one?
The first one's all about data.
Okay.
And Omega Venture Partners calls this unique data moats.
Data moats, that sounds interesting. What does that mean?
It's all about recognizing that data is the fuel that powers generative AI.
Okay.
So the companies that have these unique and valuable data reserves, they're in a prime position to really leverage this tech.
Yeah.
They can use their data to train.
Like specialized AI models.
Yeah, highly specialized AI models.
That give them an advantage.
A huge advantage.
A significant advantage.
A significant advantage.
So it's not just about having a lot of data.
Right.
It's about having...
the right kind of data.
The right kind.
The right kind.
So if data is the new oil...
it is.
Companies with unique data moats are sitting on, like...
huge reserves.
Huge reserves.
That can power their AI engines.
So data is really the key...
it's the key.
To unlocking...
the power
of AI.
Of generative AI.
And the companies that understand this are going to...
lead the way.
Lead the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the first opportunity.
That's the first one.
Unique data moats.
Unique data moats.
What's the second one?
The second one is the rise of natural language user interfaces.
You mean like, being able to talk to our computers like we talk to each other?
Exactly.
Okay.
So with generative AI, we're moving away from, like...
those clunky
menus.
Buttons, and towards... like
natural language.
So it's like finally bridging that gap.
Yeah.
Between human communication and computer interaction.
It is.
Okay, that's awesome.
Imagine asking your computer, complex questions.
Yeah.
Getting meaningful answers back.
That would be nice.
Or even like having a conversation with an AI assistant.
Yeah.
That can help you with your work. Personal life.
That's the power of natural language user interfaces.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
It is.
So, I mean, it's not just customer service, right?
No.
Like, think about, like...
voice assistants.
Like Siri and Alexa.
Yeah.
They're already using this
Yeah.
to understand our commands and do things. Right.
Set reminders, play music.
Right.
Even control...
our smart homes.
Smart homes.
As this technology, like, advances, we can...
even more seamless.
Seamless.
Intuitive interactions.
Yeah, NLUI is going to be, like, the new norm.
Yeah, I think so.
For how we interact with...
technology.
It's so much more, like...
natural, user-friendly. And the applications go beyond, like, our devices, right?
Right.
We're talking education, healthcare, finance, manufacturing.
Wow.
Imagine asking your car complex questions about its performance.
Or having a conversation with your financial advisor through natural language.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, so we talked about the first two.
Yes.
Which were...
unique data moats.
Unique data moats.
Natural language user interfaces.
Yes, the third opportunity...
the third one is smart model management.
Smart model management.
Smart model management, and this is all about kind of,
making sure
businesses are using these models
effectively
and efficiently.
Yeah.
So imagine, like, A company dives headfirst into generative AI.
Right.
And they build this massive, super complex model
Yeah.
without thinking
What
about
they need it for.
what they need it for, how
Yeah.
they're going to manage it.
Right.
That could be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I see this point.
Yeah.
So it's not about having the most powerful AI.
Right.
It's about
The right model.
the right model for the job.
For the job.
And knowing how
Use it effectively.
use it effectively. It's like, I don't know, like hiring like a top chef
Yeah.
for your restaurant.
Right.
It's not enough to just have the talented chef.
No.
You got to give them
the right tools, the right ingredients.
right guidance to create those,
Culinary masterpieces.
culinary masterpieces.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
So you're saying that smart model management is about being
Strategic.
intentional
Intentional.
with your AI.
Absolutely.
It's about understanding your needs.
Yeah.
Choosing the right tools.
The right tools.
And then
managing them.
Managing those tools effectively. Maximize their value.
You maximize value. Exactly.
This has been incredible so far.
It's been a good journey.
We've seen how this technology is,
transforming industry.
Transforming industries, empowering businesses.
Empowering businesses?
Creating these, whole new possibilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a really good journey.
And we're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
Welcome back to our deep dive into generative AI.
So we covered the basics, but now I'm really curious to see how this technology is being, applied in the real world.
Absolutely. And the report highlights some pretty fascinating use cases.
Okay.
And one area where we're seeing a huge impact is in engineering design.
Okay.
Traditionally, designing new products was a long, complex process.
Yeah, tons of iterations, prototypes.
Exactly. But generative AI is really streamlining this process in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
That's a game changer, I think, for companies looking to, innovate and bring those products to market faster.
Absolutely.
But how does it actually work in practice?
So imagine giving an AI a set of parameters for a new product, right?
Okay.
So the desired function, materials, size constraints, and so on.
Okay.
The AI can then generate multiple design variations.
Wow.
Exploring different possibilities.
Okay.
And optimizing for things like, performance, cost, even aesthetics.
So instead of relying solely on human intuition and that trial and error, engineers can now use AI to explore a much wider range of
options.
Yeah, options.
A much wider range of options. It's like having
a brainstorming partner.
Yeah, super-powered brainstorming partner that can come up with ideas that humans might never even consider.
Right, and it doesn't stop there because generative AI can even simulate how a design will behave under real-world conditions.
Exactly.
So engineers can identify those problems and fix them before anything is built.
Yeah, before you spend any money.
It's like having a
virtual testing lab where you can experiment with different designs, see the results in real time.
Okay, so this brings us to, I think, one of the most interesting applications of generative AI in engineering.
Yeah.
And that's the creation of digital twins.
Digital twins.
That sounds
futuristic.
Futuristic. What are they?
So think of a digital twin as kind of like a virtual replica of a physical product or system.
Got it.
Using generative AI, engineers can create these digital twins that can be used to simulate
all aspects
of a product's life cycle.
Wow.
So from design and manufacturing to operation and maintenance.
So instead of building those really expensive physical prototypes.
Yeah, which can be very expensive.
Right. Companies can use digital twins to test and refine their designs.
In a virtual world.
In a virtual environment. Yeah, that's incredible. They can run those simulations.
Exactly.
To see how that product's going to perform.
Under different conditions.
See those potential,
points of failure.
Right, and optimize for, efficiency and
durability.
Wow, that's a game changer for,
huge issue.
Aerospace, automotive, and
manufacturing.
Okay, so we talked about data moats earlier.
Yes.
Can you give us some real-world examples of how companies are using that data to create an edge?
Yeah, so let's take the healthcare industry.
Okay.
A company that's been collecting, anonymized patient data.
Right.
They could use that data to train a generative AI model to develop personalized treatment plans.
Okay.
So the AI could analyze a patient's medical history,
wow,
genetic information, lifestyle factors, and then predict their risk of developing certain diseases. And recommend, tailored intervention.
That's personalized medicine on a whole new level.
It is.
It really is.
And the applications go beyond just healthcare. Imagine, a retail company using generative AI to create those hyper-personalized shopping experience.
Their customers.
They're their customers.
I like it.
So they analyze past purchases, browsing behavior, demographic data. And then they can generate product recommendations.
It's like having a
personal
shopper.
Who knows you inside and out.
That's incredible.
It is.
So the possibilities for using, data to enhance customer experiences? Limitless, yeah.
They are. And the companies that understand this,
they're the ones who are going to
thrive
in this new era
of AI-driven personalization.
Okay, so we've seen how generative AI is,
revolutionizing engineering,
enabling these personalized experiences.
Yeah.
But what about those natural language user interfaces?
Yeah, so one area where this is having a big impact is customer service. So lots of companies are now using AI-powered chatbots to handle those kind of routine customer inquiries.
Right, freeing up those
human agents to focus on the more
complex.
So it's like having a virtual customer service agent that's available
24/7. I like it.
And these chatbots are becoming so sophisticated, they can learn from past interactions,
wow,
adapt their responses based on the user's tone and sentiment,
right,
and even escalate issues to human agents if needed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's really powerful.
That's impressive, but it's not just about a
customer service.
Right. But I imagine it could be applied in
so many other areas. Think about voice assistants like Siri and Alexa.
Right, we already talked about that.
Yeah, but they're already using this to understand our commands and perform tasks.
And as this technology advances, more seamless.
More seamless and
intuitive, yeah. So it's exciting to see where that's going.
And the applications go
beyond just our personal devices, right?
Yeah, we're talking education, healthcare, finance, manufacturing.
Wow.
Imagine being able to ask your car complex questions.
Yeah.
Or having a conversation with your financial advisor through a natural language interface.
This is transformative. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's circle back to smart model management.
Yes.
Because it sounds important.
It is.
But I'm not really sure why it's so crucial for businesses that are adopting this.
So it's all about making sure companies are using these models effectively.
Right.
And efficiently, because, imagine a company dives in headfirst.
Right.
And they build this massive, super complex model without really thinking about what they need it for or how they're going to manage it.
Right.
That could lead to a lot of wasted resources and a lot of frustration.
Yes, for sure.
So smart model management is about making those strategic decisions about which models to use, how to train them, how to deploy them, and how to monitor their performance.
So it's about finding that sweet spot. Between
model complexity and efficiency. Exactly.
Okay, so it's hiring, like I said, a really good chef.
Yeah.
You got to give them the right tools, ingredients, and guidance to really make those
culinary masterpieces.
Yeah,
I like that analogy.
It's not enough to just have that talented chef.
Right, exactly.
You got to give them everything else to succeed.
You got to set them up for success.
Okay, so smart model management is about being
strategic,
intentional with those
AI
investments. Okay, this has been
it's been quite a journey.
Incredible so far. I mean,
it has.
We've seen how generative AI is transforming
industries,
empowering
businesses,
creating these, whole new possibilities.
Yeah, it's really changing the game.
And we're not done yet.
No, we've got one more segment to go.
Welcome back. I'm still processing all these ways generative AI is, changing the game.
Yeah, the momentum is really building. Yeah. And in this last part, we're going to kind of look at it through the investor's lens.
Okay.
So what does the landscape look like for those who want to be a part of this revolution?
I mean, it seems like everyone's trying to, get a piece of that AI pie these days.
Everyone wants in on the action.
Especially with, NVIDIA and these crazy valuations.
There's a lot of excitement,
yeah.
and rightfully so.
Right.
But Omega Venture Partners reminds us that it's important to approach AI investing, strategically with a strategic mindset. They've been at the forefront of AI investing for over 2 decades.
Right, way before it was.
The cool thing. Yeah, so their insights are kind of
invaluable.
Yeah, invaluable. I think that's a good word.
So, I mean, what's their, secret sauce? How do they navigate this landscape and find those real winners?
So their strategy's built on a foundation of, really deep domain expertise.
Okay.
They've been in the AI game for years.
Right.
They understand the tech.
Right.
And they have a proven track record of identifying the companies that are really shaping the future.
Yeah, it sounds like they're looking for companies that are building, sustainable businesses and solving those real-world problems.
Exactly. They're not just chasing the shiny new object. Yeah. They're looking for real value.
And they're laser-focused on early growth stage private companies.
Yeah, these are the companies that are often really at the forefront of, innovation, developing those cutting-edge technologies and applications.
Okay, yeah, I could see why that would be attractive to investors.
Absolutely.
But why the emphasis on private companies over, those publicly traded ones?
So investing in private companies allows them to kind of get in on the ground floor,
okay.
Work closely with these startups, provide guidance, mentorship,
right.
access to their network and resources.
So it's not just about providing, the capital.
No, it's about being a true partner.
Okay.
And helping these companies succeed.
So it's a very hands-on approach.
Very hands-on.
Leveraging, their experience and expertise.
Absolutely. And they understand that building a successful AI company,
right.
It takes more than just a good idea and some funding.
Right.
It takes vision, strategic guidance, and a strong network of support.
So they're not just investing in the companies.
Right.
They're investing in the future of
AI.
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly.
That brings us to, the big question.
The big question.
What does that future look like?
Yeah, what can we expect from generative AI in the years to come?
I mean, it's hard to even imagine. We've seen how it can revolutionize industries.
Right.
But it feels like we're, just scratching the surface.
We are just scratching the surface, and Omega Venture Partners believes that we're still in the early innings of this revolution.
Okay.
And as the tech advances, we can expect even more,
innovative applications.
Yeah, innovative applications, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and really transforming the way we live, work, and interact with the world.
Okay, that is exciting, but with all this talk about, innovation and disruption,
right.
It's also important to, think about the potential downsides.
The ethical considerations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are some of those, ethical considerations that we should be thinking about as this tech gets more powerful?
So any transformative technology, right?
Right.
Generative AI has the potential for both good and bad.
Yeah.
So it's important to have those open and honest conversations about the risks and the challenges.
Right.
And really develop ethical frameworks to make sure this technology is used responsibly.
Responsibly.
For the benefit of all of humanity.
So it's not just about technological advancement.
Right.
It's about making sure that these advancements align with our values.
Our values.
And contribute to a better future.
For everyone.
Yeah.
And that's where Omega Venture Partners focus on kind of responsible AI investing comes in.
That's right.
They're not just looking for companies building cool tech. They're looking for companies that are committed to using AI ethically.
And transparently. So they're really trying to shape the future of AI in a positive direction.
A positive direction.
Not just from a technological standpoint, but from an ethical one as well.
Absolutely. And I think they understand that the future of AI isn't predetermined.
Right.
It's something that we're all kind of shaping together.
Right.
And they're committed to playing their part.
I love that.
In ensuring that it's a future we can all be proud of.
Well, I'm feeling incredibly inspired.
Me too.
After this deep dive.
Yeah.
It's clear we're at the beginning of this technological revolution.
The cusp of a revolution.
Yeah, and it's so exciting to think about all the positive changes it can bring.
It's a world of possibilities.
It really is.
And it's up to all of us to harness its power
to
create that better future.
This has been an incredible journey, and I'm so grateful to, Omega Venture Partners for their insights.
Yeah, their report has really been a roadmap, I think, for understanding, the complexities and the potential of generative AI.
I agree. And with that, I think that wraps up our deep dive into the world of generative AI.
It does.
We hope you found it as, enlightening and inspiring as we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're interested in learning more about, Omega Venture Partners and their vision for the future of AI, be sure to check out their website.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing those boundaries.
The future is waiting to be created.